Hello everyone, Caleb here. Today, I'm going to make top 5 least favorite classic series episodes. So here I go. Number 5, The Old Bridge. Scaroli is supposed to be an old and wise engine. I mean, couldn't we get Luke to be a spotlight in this episode? Like I said before, Scaroli is supposed to be old and wise engine, not a scaredy little child. But the reason why it's a number 5 spot is that you can be brave of anything. Number 4, Rusty to the rescue. I used to like it, but ever since Wilbur Audrey dislikes this episode, I decided to not like this episode anymore. I understand that Brett Allcraft decided not to adapt Bluebells of England from the Railway series because it's too scary for children. But if you want to adapt a Railway series story, you need to be accurate as possible. Otherwise, you'll upset Wilbur Audrey himself. Do you understand? Number 3, Buffer Bother. Don't get me wrong, this episode is bad, mainly because Bill was being a whiny brat throughout this episode. But hey, at least I respect your opinion. Number 2, What's the Matter with Henry? In this episode, Henry was feeling ill, and Thomas and Percy teased him about it, which is very harsh and disrespectful. And to make matters worse, Thomas and Percy asked the coal manager to give Henry more trucks. I mean, come on! Henry is freaking ill! And Thomas and Percy should have been scrapped. Before I get to number 1, here are honorable mentions. Henry's Forest. I know that Wilbur Audrey doesn't like this episode, but I can't hate this episode for nostalgic reasons. Because the visuals and the music were wonderful. Thomas's Train, aka A Big Day for Thomas. I know some people hate this episode because they think it's a worst episode of season 1, but I can't hate this episode for nostalgic reasons. Because Thomas's theme is really catchy. And Thomas can be an idiot sometimes. Rusty Saves the Day. Scaroli Railway is the most popular railway on the island of Sodor. So why does it need to close? And why does Rusty have to work at the quarry instead of maintenance? Well, I decided to take it off the list because it got beat out by Buffer Bother. And I like it when Elizabeth helps out, so therefore, I consider this episode a guilty pleasure. Gordon and the Gremlin. I know some people hate this episode because it's confusing, and they think it's the worst episode of season 5. But I can't hate this episode for nostalgic reasons because the dog is so cute. And number 1, my least favorite classic series episode all time is Middle Engine. This episode broke me. I became so furious that I'm about to rant. Ari and Bert pushed some freight cars right in front of Percy to make him a middle engine. Why? Why? It's dangerous to be a middle engine. And Sir Top Hat blamed Percy for going into a tipper's loading ramp. I can't finish what I'm saying. My brain is struggling right now. Middle engine is a worse piece of trash the classic series has ever produced. I cannot believe I used to like it. Percy is just an innocent little child throughout. And Sir Topham Hatt is probably the heartless jerk throughout the whole episode. You know this episode is bad. And it was all Ari and Bert's fault. And I hate them. And to top it all off, you can't even enjoy it for how stupid it is because the dialogue is degrading. So here's how I'm going to fix this episode. Have Ari and Bert punished by Sir Topham Hatt. And have Henry apologizing to Percy along with Sir Topham Hatt. But they just don't use it. I'm wasting my breath right now while trying to fix this mess. It insults its audience and intelligence. Absolute worst classic series episode ever, and nothing tops it. Well, that's all I have to say. Thank you very much for watching. This is Caleb speaking, and I'm gonna take a nap.